Hey there. Today I want to talk to you about how I use large language models to solve a problem that I'm having. I think this video can be really good for people who are, you know, technically inclined. Maybe you have some experience with a little bit of programming and scripting, but you're really at the beginner level, and you're also at the beginner level for how to use large language models in terms of what's the use case and how do you prompt them? How do you go through and actually talk to a large language model and have it help you solve problems? So this is going to be a walkthrough where I'm going to show you how I solved a problem that I was having on my computer. So the problem that I was having was that I have a very disorganized documents folder, and I wanted to organize it and have it make more sense. I've got folders, I'm looking at it right now, and you can see it's just a lot of different folders. Some are in games, some are in notes on books that I read, some might be, job applications, programming scripts, different projects that I worked on, software that I use. It's really all over the place. So there's folders for like anything and everything, but it's all just scattered and dumped onto my hard drive. So I've been wanting to come up with an organizational structure for that. And I just really haven't spent a lot of time on it, and I wanted to see if AI could help do this a lot more quickly. Now, the issue is, how do I get the information of my folder contents? Well, not the contents, but just the structure of all the folders that I have on my hard drive. How do I get that into our large language model? So what I did is I knew from writing a previous script that I can actually create a text file that is a tree of all of the folders that I have in my documents folder. So I wanted to use a large language model to write a script. I'm on Windows 11, so I wanted to write a PowerShell script. I am at the very beginner level of using PowerShell. Like, if you sat me at a computer and told me to even print a variable, I wouldn't really know like what the syntax is. Like, I am at that basic beginner level of PowerShell. So I wanted to use a large language model to help me write a PowerShell script that would then write a document, a text file, that displayed all of the folders that I have in my documents folder. And then I was going to take that text document, give it to another large language model, and have it analyze the folder structure within my documents folder. And then it would give me an analysis of, is it organized? Is it not? What can I do to improve it? And give suggestions for different ways that I can organize all the different things that I have in my documents folder. Went to Mistral, and this is a company out of Paris, I believe, and they have one of the best large language models, and they make Large Enough 2, I believe is the name of their latest large language model. And then they have other models, and this one I'm going to use is Codestral. So Mistral Large 2, Codestral, and then they have another one, Mistral Nemo. So Codestral is the one that specializes in code generation across a variety of different languages. So what I did is I prompted it. I said, I knew what I wanted. I wanted a PowerShell script to output a text file that displays a tree of all folders without listing files on my hard drive. So that was my prompt. And so it says, sure, here's a PowerShell script that will output a tree structure of all of your folders on your hard drive without listing files. What I love about Mistral is that it's very quick, to the point. I don't like prompting to be like, would you please do this? And, you know, how is your day going? Like, I just like getting straight to the point, and I like when my large language model talks to me like that too. So, and I don't even need to write a system prompt. It's just built into how it responds by default. So I've got this code here, right? And it tells me how to, you know, modify the folders that I will be using, and I did do that. So I click the copy button right there, and then I'm going to switch into my VS Code. So VS Code here, I have it hooked up to Codey AI, which is an extension plugin for VS Code. This thing is phenomenal. And by the way, I recommend using the pre-release version so you get the latest updates. And then also, I don't have to pay for it, and I don't have to pay for using Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which is one of the best coding models out there. So yeah, I'm using a combination of Mistral Codestral and Claude 3.5 Sonnet to do my coding. So what I did is I simply copied this code, and then I pasted it into a new PowerShell script file. You know, I've got a folder here, and I just have my different scripts in there. So I pasted and I saved the file, and then let's run it in PowerShell. So this is the original script. So I'm going to run it. And I get this error message. So again, I'm an absolute beginner. I know absolutely nothing about what this error message means. So I select this. I copied it. I went to Codey chat, and I simply typed into the chat, I'm getting this error, and I pasted in that error message. And it says, I understand you're encountering an access denied error when running the script. This is occurring because the script is trying to access the C perf logs directory, which typically has restricted permissions. To resolve this, you have a few options. Run the script with elevated privileges as administrator, modify the script to skip directories that it can't access. Here's how to modify the script to skip inaccessible directories. So it offered the solution. It's like, here's two solutions. I'm just gonna like modify the code for this one solution. I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Like, I don't really care about all of the directories. And so initially I was wanting to, when I first wrote this script, I was wanting to get the folder structure for my entire C drive. And then I realized while I was making this in the middle that that's a bit much, and I moved to just wanting to make this example for my documents folder. So you'll see a little bit of discrepancies or a change when I move through the scripts. But here it's for the C folder, and it rewrote the script. So what I did is I copied it down here, copied, I made a new file and I pasted it in, and then I edited it just to do a smaller folder, and then to output to a specific directory so that then we can see the output. And it rewrote the script to make sure that it doesn't get folders that it can't access. And so then, like at the bottom, it explains the key change is adding -error silently continue to the get child item commandlet. This will help make the script skip any directories it can't access instead of throwing an error. This modification will allow the script to continue running even when it encounters directories it doesn't have permission to access, giving you a tree structure of all the directories it can access. So really, it was just this piece of it here that was different. Let me go back. So right here, Just watch this. When I go to the next script, that will change, and it adds that. So a pretty simple change, but just to be sure that nothing else changed, I copied the script and I pasted it in. So then, I also wanted more feedback. And so I asked it, I would like more on-screen feedback that the program is actively running. So I think I was still at this point trying to get the folder structure of my C drive, which has thousands of folders and subfolders, and it was taking a long time, and I didn't know if it was working or if the script was freezing. So I wanted more feedback, and I said that. I would like more on-screen feedback that the program is actively running, perhaps an output of all the folders it's writing to the text file. And Claude 3.5 Sonnet responds, certainly. By the way, it seems to be saying this a lot. It'll say, certainly. And I always think of the Three Stooges.
Oh, certainly, 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 certainly.
Certainly. Yup, 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 yup. So I can modify the script to provide more on-screen feedback as it runs. Here's an updated version that will display the folders it's writing to the output file. So I was like, okay, cool. And then it explains everything. The script will display a message when it starts generating the folder tree. Show another message when it begins writing to the file. Output each folder as it's being written to the file. Display completion message with the output file location. These additions will give you real-time feedback on the script's progress, allowing you to see which folders are being processed and written to the output file. So I copied it, and this is what you see here in this script, C1. Okay, now that this is done, the script has been updated. I'm now going to run it in PowerShell. So it says folder tree generated, writing to file. So I had switched the directory to a game directory just because I wanted it to be really quick. And I knew that this directory only had a few subfolders. So that's what I went with. It says process complete, output saved to that folder. So then let's open up that file. So I have it here in the directory, and I already have it open in Notepad. So this is what the output looks like of that C1 PowerShell script. And I was like, okay, that's cool, but I didn't understand why there were these gaps here, and I realized it's a tab. And I was like, okay, I didn't really like how it looked, because I knew from a previous script that I'd written on a Mac for an Avid Nexus storage system, I knew that it was capable of outputting pipes and dashes to show more of a connection between which was a parent folder and which was a subfolder, and I really liked that. I initially got that from Claude 3.5 Sonnet when I was using it at work, and it wrote a bash script for me, so I knew, text-wise that was possible. So that's what I wanted to see, and I went back to Kodi in VS Studio, and I said, great, I would like to use dashes and pipes and other characters to more visually see the tree in the text file for the folders and subfolders instead of tabs. Can you please show me a possible example before rewriting the code? So this is what's amazing, is like, you don't have to go like 2 steps ahead. You can really break things down and get like all of the information or brainstorm all of the ideas before you go ahead and like implement something that, or have the large language model do something that you may not want it to do. That's really the important key point that I want to make, is like, you really have to learn and understand and practice how to break problems down into smaller steps. Because if you tell the large language model, make a to-do app, it's gonna go off in like maybe the wrong direction that you don't want it to. And it will make a to-do app, but it may not make it according to your vision and your specific requirements. So it really helps to break things down and just do things step by step and really collaborate with the large language model. So it says, certainly.
Certainly. Certainly. Certainly. Certainly.
Here's an example of how the tree structure could look using dashes and pipes. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, that's exactly the format that I saw previously in another script that had Claude write. This format uses that kind of denotation for branches, for vertical lines, and for the last item in a branch. This visual representation makes it easier to see the hierarchy of folders and subfolders. I can modify the script to produce this kind of output if you'd like. Oh, so very helpful of you, coding assistant. So I said, yes, please use the dashes and pipes to denote folders and subfolder hierarchy. Again, with a certainty, I'm gonna make a system prompt that eliminates the word certainly from Claude 3.5 Sonnet's vocabulary. I will do it, I will. Okay, so it says, yeah, I'll modify the script to use dashes and pipes for denoting folder and subfolder hierarchy. Here's the updated version of the script. Cool, so I copied it. The script will generate a tree structure using dashes and pipes, providing a more visual representation of the folder hierarchy in the output file. The on-screen feedback has been maintained to show the progress of the script as it runs. Cool, cool, cool. So I put that all into the second script file, C2, and I modified the input and output paths. So let's run that script. All right, let me clear the screen. All right, here's the second one. Okay, so we're not going to see any changes here on the screen. We have to load that into, so export it here. So I open that. So we'll open that. Boom, there it is. Isn't that so cool the way it like visually shows it? So yeah, that's awesome. That works. I love it. Oh yeah. That's really cool. And now I wanted to move back to using the documents folder, and I figured it would take a long time. So I wanted to see if I could have it write a script that could add in a progress bar. So I wrote, I need the script to give me an estimate of how long it will take in the initial process of folder tree generation. A progress bar would be nice if possible, question mark. So I knew that in this second script, it had starting folder tree generation. And if you look at the PowerShell, it's this right here, right? And I knew that on a longer folder structure, I would see this for quite a while. So I really wanted more feedback. And that's something that I personally love in user experiences. I feel like it's really important to give the user as much feedback as possible. So that's what I wanted. It said, certainly, again, I can enhance the script to provide an estimate time and include a progress bar. Here's an updated version with these features. So we have the script. It's quite exhaustive now. It's getting pretty complex. And so the script now includes an initial estimation for the total number of folders, an estimated time for completion based on the folder count, a progress bar that indicates as the script progresses each folder. Oh, interesting, each folder. The progress bar will give you a visual indication of the script's progress and the initial time estimate to help you gauge how long the process might take. So I copied the code and I added it to a new script, and there it is. So let's run it right now in PowerShell. All right, so I'm going to clear this. Let me run that last one. So the last one, I have it doing it on the documents folder because I knew that was going to be a lot more lengthy, and I would see the progress bar actually work if it did work. Okay, here we go. Estimating folder 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, 13,000, 14,000, 15,000. Okay, so the estimated time is not super correct, but look at that progress bar, like that is sweet. And then boom, process complete, output saved. So let's go back into here. So yep, there it is. And then let's load it up into Notepad. And there it is. There's all of the folders. And look at this. Like that is a long, big, huge file. Jeepers, look at all of this. That is crazy. And just for curiosity's sake, I went back to Mistral and I said it ended up being 119,918 tokens. Roughly how many characters per token is that from the original 330,400 characters in the file? And it says to calculate it, blah, 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 it is 2.75 characters per token. So I just thought that was really interesting. And it's like, you know, I'm so interested in learning about AI, particularly these large language models. And I'm bouncing back and forth between all of them, and I'm asking questions and comparing them. So there you have it. I had a lot of fun just working on this small project using different large language models. And I hope this was helpful in seeing you how you can maybe use them in your various workflows. So let me know in the comments your thoughts on this video and what you would like to see in the future. And yeah, happy to be on this journey learning about AI and large language models with you all. All right, take care.